Hello, everybody. I'm Uncle Steve, and this is Christian Valachi, and we're here to talk about your New York Metropolitans. What a difference a week makes. A week ago, Christian sent me a text that the Dodgers are ruining baseball when they signed Tucker. Now, everything is good in Metland. Go ahead, Christian. Talk about your New York Mets.
What a turnaround it's been. Not to put a timestamp on this, but we're recording this the morning after the news broke that the Mets are trading for Freddie Peralta.
January 22nd.
Yes, sir. And what they needed a starter and a reliable starter
Yeah.
at that, and they got their guy. They got their ace. He's pitched at least 30 games the past 3 years in a row, so they got their reliability. And it takes a little bit of the burden off Nolan McLean
Yeah.
to be the ace this year in his rookie year.
Yeah. No, that was a good get for them. They had to give up. They gave up Jet Williams. I know your boy, but and they gave up Sprout. But you got to give to get, and they needed a pitcher at the top of that rotation with McLean,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they got him. So that's good. I still think they need some work in the bullpen. I think they've got some holes there, but if Devin Williams can come back and be the pitcher he was 2 years ago, then I think they're in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, I love Jet. He's been one of my
Yeah.
favorite prospects for a while, but that's just the business of baseball,
Yeah.
You want an ace, you got to give up some promising young guys, so. gotta do
Christian
it.
sent me a text last year. If they trade Jet, I'm not going to be a Met fan anymore. Again, you got to give to get, and they got what they needed, and they really rebuilt this team in the last week or two. They've done a real good job. They're going to score runs. The offense is solid. I think the starting pitching is going to be okay. I know they've got a lot of question marks, but some of them are going to be good. Some of the question marks will be exclamation points, and a little bit of tinkering in the pen, and I think they're good to go.
Yeah, I think they're going to compete for the division hopefully this year. I don't think Philly's gotten a whole lot better than they were last
The
year.
Braves have.
The Braves, I think, will be good again. They're not going to be the Braves we saw in the 2025 season where they're down there with the Marlins. And the Marlins are going to be better too. It's going to be a tough division, but, I think the Mets have a shot.
Yeah, they do. They're in the conversation now, where a week ago they weren't.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the Dodgers swooping in and getting Kyle Tucker. Took it right out of the Mets' mouth, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, 4 years, 240?
240.
Yeah, 60 million AAV a year. He's getting paid 20 million a year more than Aaron Judge, which I think is crazy. But that's what it was going to take. This market's been crazy this year. The Mets' final offer I think was for 220.
220.
So
They were right there.
yeah, 5 million a year less. But hats off to the Dodgers. They won the negotiations. They got their guy. I think that lit a fire under David Stearns and Steve Cohen and led to what the Mets are doing now. So
Yeah,
thank
led
you
to
for
the
that.
next day when they signed Bichette the next day.
Yep.
I think what Friedman has done and the Dodger organization has done is they've made it a destination where people want to go. They want to go there. It's a first-class organization. They got first-class. Diaz went there. His brother was on the Dodgers last year, and he told his brother about the great facilities they have, the great coaching they have. He said they're a first-class organization. So, and you want a chance to win every year, you're going to have it. They're going to have a chance to win every year. Not going to win every year, but they might. No.
Past 2 years they have.
And they'll have a chance this year. We'll see. I mean, best laid plans sometimes fall apart, but I think they'll be all right. Now, also just happened yesterday. Yankees signed Bellinger. I think it was pretty obvious Bellinger was going to circle back around to the Yankees. He didn't have another offer.
Yeah. Boris used his negotiating tactics. It didn't work this time. It got him a little bit extra money, but
Yeah,
nobody wanted him. He wanted too much.
yeah. Yeah, he won too many years. I mean, he overplayed his hand a little bit, but that's okay. He came back, and got what they were offering. So, the Yankees are essentially the same team that they had last year.
Yep. They're one Judge injury away from falling apart.
Well, that's true. But you could say that about a lot of teams are one injury away from falling apart.
You can.
So that's it. The Yankees are the same team. The Mets are a much better team. And the Phillies, they got to really be burned. I mean, they thought they had Bichette, right?
Yeah. It makes me smile as a Mets fan. You know, all reports are saying Bichette's going to sign probably a 7-year, $200 million deal with the Phillies. The Mets swoop in at what seems like the last minute.
Right.
And get him on a 3-year deal with opt-outs after each year. So
I got 2 texts from Christian. One said, everything I'm reading says Tucker's signing with the Mets. And the next text was, the Dodgers are ruining baseball.
It was a roller coaster emotions day, right? And you just have to stay off Twitter and Instagram because you're going to read a bunch of different things that are going to get you to think a lot, and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what they're talking about unless you're in the inner circle. And
that's true.
The teams aren't allowed to talk about it. In the CBA, they're not allowed to talk about free agents, and I doubt the inner circle of the players are going to talk. So everything's just purely off speculation.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah. So that's what we got. You got anything else?
Well, let's just talk about a couple of the other Mets moves for now. We mentioned Bichette. We mentioned Peralta. Also got Jorge Polanco a little while ago in the offseason. I think that's a great switch-hitting infielder, going to play first base. And a lot of people are worried that he's never played first base. Well, he was a shortstop coming up. What do we know about him? He's an athlete. It's easier to go from shortstop or second base to first base than it would be to do vice versa. So I'm not too worried about it.
First base is not an easy position to play. It's not like you just stand there and they throw the ball to you. You've got footwork, you've got positioning. There's a lot of stuff. When the Yankees put Mickey Mantle at first base to save his knees. So they took him out of center field. And Mantle said it was the worst thing he ever did. He says his knees got crushed at first base.
I agree, but also Mickey Mantle was an outfielder. Polanco's used to playing the infield.
He was a shortstop too when he came up.
Well, he played most of his career in center field.
That's true.
Switch-hitting bat had a great postseason with the Mariners. Happy to have him. MLB The Show favorite. He's great on that game. And then also Marcus Semien, a veteran. I think he's 36, maybe 37 years old.
Yeah.
He's not the offensive player he used to be, but he's still putting up great defensive numbers. Pairing him with Lindor up the middle, that's a good infield right there.
I think the infield will be good. I think Bichette will be good at third base. I think after an adjustment period, Polanco will be good at first. So I think your infield will be solid. Your outfield, is that kid Benji going to play left field?
Yeah, it looks like, and anything could happen in spring training, but it looks like he's going to break camp as the starting left fielder and bat ninth for them.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see him play.
Yeah, and don't forget, you still have Brett Beatty and Mark Vientos in the mix too. Yeah, I hope Mark can get back to his 2024 form. Last year was horrible.
Where's Vientos going to find that bats?
He'll DH a little bit. If he has a good spring training.
I think any at bats they have, Beatty will get him.
I love Beatty. And, Mark's kind of the odd man out here, but he's shown he could do it. I just hope he shows it again.
Yeah, I think they might trade him. to get a bullpen piece. Because, he's still young, and he's only 2 years away from that big year. So, there's potential there. Yeah. Okay. So what else you got? Your Mets have signed everybody in room baseball.
It should be interesting. We have the World Baseball Classic this year, so that's exciting to look forward to.
It's coming up in March, right?
March 6th is the first day, yeah. You got some exhibition games, like spring training-like games. You'll have, like Israel versus the Mets.
Israel versus the Mets?
The Mets, yeah. As, a spring training game, you have, Brazil versus the Twins. You have, a bunch of these weird games, which I don't know how that's going to work, but it'll be interesting to see. It's exciting. World Baseball Classic's always exciting.
Yeah.
USA is a good team, too. Really
good team.
They're the favorites right now, but Japan, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, they could come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They got a good team, too.
Yep.
So it'll be exciting.
It will. Okay, so we're about a month from spring training, right?
Yeah.
No, less than a month. 3 weeks from spring training.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Nice. That's great. Pitches and catches. 2 great words.
Yep.
Okay, I'm the uncle.
Carbuncle.
See you next time.